Did you happen to maybe sold some ideas you made here?
Yes, several thousands, I should think.
Jean said 4,207. It's the exact number. Couldn't send all horses. 2 of them were one of the Queen's croquet games. Couldn't send the 2 messengers either. Mr. Scott and John. Did you look down that road over there and tell me if you see either of them?
I see nobody on the road.
I only wish I had such eyes. Such eyes. To be able to see nobody. And at that distance, too. Well, I can hardly see real people. It's like,
I don't suppose you know where the Queen is today.
Queen's that way. What do you want to see the Queen for?
Well, I don't know her, you see, and it's just I have to talk to her, and
That's clear enough, otherwise you really wouldn't want to see her.
And see, I'm lost, and I'm trying to find my way home, and I'm... I'm tired, really. I wish we could talk.
We all can. When there's anybody worth talking to.
And can all the flowers talk?
As well as you can. And a great deal louder.
It isn't good manners for us to begin, you know, and I really was wondering when to speak. Her face has got some sense in it, though it's not clever. So you're the right color, and that goes along with it.
I don't care about her color. If only her petals tumbled a little bit more, she'd be all right.
Aren't you sometimes frightened at being planted out here, all alone with no one to take care of you?
There's a tree in the middle. What else is it good for?
Well, what could it do if any real danger came? It goes down! That's branches and cold bells!
No, I can't get it. We dare do it!
If you don't hold your tongues, I'll pick you.
That's right. The daisies are the worst of them all. When one talks, they all begin together. It just makes one wither just to hear them go on.
How can you all talk so nicely? I've been in many gardens before, but none of the flowers can talk.
Put your hand up on the ground and feel it. Then you'll know why.
It's very hard, but I don't see what that has to do with it.
Well, in most gardens, they make the beds too soft, so the flowers are always asleep.
Never thought of that before.
It's my opinion here to think it all.
Hold your tongue, as if you know what's going on more in the world than if you were a bud.
Are there any more people in the garden besides me?
There's another little girl in the garden that can look about like you. I wonder how you do.
There's another little girl in the garden? Is she like me? Exactly?
She has the same awkward shape as you.
Her petals are tumbled like yours, too.
But that's not your fault. One can't help his petals from becoming a little untidy, you know.
When did you see her here?
Well, there's only been 2 today, so I dare say you'll see another one soon, I'm sure.
But when she left here, do you recall the way she went?
Well, where did you come from and where are you going exactly?
I seem to have lost my way, I'm afraid.
I don't know what you mean by your way, because all the way to that belongs to the Queen.
And if I remember right, the last one of you went all the way to Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum? You mean like the poem?
You know it, don't you?
Tweedledee and Tweedledum agreed to have a battle. For Tweedledee said Tweedledum, what a little rattle. Just then flew down a monstrous crow as black as a tornado, which frightened both the heroes so they quite forgot their quarrel.
Oh, he's playing on a friend of mine like he did earlier.
If you think we're waxworks, you ought to speak, you know. Waxworks are meant to be looked at for nothing, no how.
Contrariwise, if you think we're alive, you ought to speak.
I'm sure I'm very sorry.
I know what you're thinking about, but isn't so, no how.
Contrariwise, if it was so, it would be. And if it were so, it might be. But as it isn't, it ain't. That's logic.
I was thinking, which is the best way out of these woods? Would you tell me, please?
You've been wrong. The first thing you do on a visit is say, how do you do, and shake hands.
It would never do to say, how do you do now? We seem to have gone beyond that somehow.
No how, and thank you very much for that.
Are there any lions or tigers about here?
It's only the white knight snoring.
Come and look at him. Isn't he a lovely sight fit to snore?
I'm afraid he'll catch a cold lying on the damp grass.
He's dreaming now. now, what do you think he's dreaming about?
Nobody can guess that.
Why, about you. And if he left off dreaming about you, where do you suppose you'd be?
Where I am now, of course.
Oh, not you. You'd be nowhere. Why, you're only sort of thinking his dream.
If that there night was to wake, you'd go out with a bang! Just like a cat.
I shouldn't. Besides, I'm only a sort of thing in his dreams. What are you? I should like to know.
Ditto.
Ditto, ditto.
Hush, you'll be waking him, I'm afraid, if you make so much noise.
There's no sense in talking about waking when you're on one of the things in his dream. You know very well you're not real.
I am real.
You won't make yourself a bit realer by crying. There's nothing to cry about.
If I wasn't real, I shouldn't be able to cry.
And I hope you don't suppose these are real tears.
I know what you're talking is nonsense, and it's foolish of me to cry about it. Better be getting out of these woods, for it's growing rather dark. Do you think it's going to rain?
No, I don't. At least. Not under here, no how.
But it may rain outside.
It may, if it chooses. We've no objection. Contrary-wise.
Look there. Do you see that?
It's only a rattle, not a rattlesnake. Only a rattle, quite only ruin.
It's ruin, of course. Of course
You
you
needn't be so angry about an old rattle.
But is it old, I tell you? It's my new rattle! And of course, you agree to have a bastard.
I suppose. Only she must always dress up, you know.
And I hope you're good at pinning things and tying strings. All of that stuff has to go on one way or another.
You'll really be more like old bundles of clothes by the time you're ready.
Please tie it securely around my neck.
What for?
Like to keep my head from being cut off. What else? You know, it's one of the most serious things that could happen to one in battle. To have one's head cut off.
Do I look pale?
Well, yes, a little.
I'm very brave, gentlemen. Only today I have a...
And I've got a toothache. I'm far worse off than you.
Then you'd better not fight today.
But we must have a bit of a bout. I don't care how long it takes. What's the time now?
4:30.
Good, then we'll fight till 6 and then have dinner.
Very well. And she may watch us if she likes. Because when I come too close, I should have did everything I can see when I get really excited.
And I hit everything within reach, whether I can see it or not.
You should hit trees pretty often then, I should think.
I suppose there'll be tree left standing by the time we're through.
And all about a rattle.
Shouldn't have minded it so much if it hadn't been a new one.
I wish the monstrous crow could frighten them both away.
There's only one sword, so you'll have to use this umbrella. It's quite sharp as it can, but you must start quickly. It's getting dark.
And darker.
It's getting so dark. Look at what a thick black cloud that is, and how fast it moves. Why, I do believe it's got wings.
It's the crow! The crow!
Ah!
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes. Who are you?
I hardly know, ma'am. Just at present. At least I knew who I was when I got up this morning. But I think I must have changed since then.
What do you mean by that? Explain yourself.
I can't explain myself, you see, ma'am, because I don't feel like myself today. You see?
I don't see.
I'm afraid I can't put it more clearly, for I can't understand it myself to begin with. Changing is very confusing.
It isn't.
Well, perhaps you haven't found it so yet. But when you have to turn into a chrysalis, you will someday, you know, and then after that into a butterfly, I should think you'll feel it a little strange, won't you?
That's a bit.
Well, perhaps your feelings may be different. All I know is it will feel very strange to me.
You. Who are you?
I think you ought to tell me who you are first.
So you think you're changed, do you?
I'm afraid I am, ma'am. I don't seem to be the same person is all.
Being one person is over you. Who do you want to be?
Oh, I'm not particular to who. Only one should feel like oneself, you know.
I don't mean.
See, there she is.
Who?
Alice. I mean me. I mean the girl who looks like me.
If you ask me, that girl is you.
But if she is me, then who am I? Wait, where are you going?